Welcome to Readings in Philippine History, where we can learn about various places and events in the past. From old cities like Cali Cristologo to important battles like the Battle of the Red Pass, each place and event has a story to tell. The Philippine Revolution and sites like Corregidor Island and Rizal Park remind us of the country's history and how Filipinos have faced challenges together. Historical events and places in the Philippines. First is the Pauay Church. Pauay Church is a Roman Catholic church in Pauay, Ilocos Norte province, completed in 1710 after 2 decades of construction. With a massive pediment and complementary bell tower standing imposingly on an expansive plain. The church is famous for an architecture that blends Baroque, Gothic Chinese, and Javanese. Its official name is St. Augustine Church, already a declared National Cultural Treasure in 1973. Pauay Church was classified a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993 under the collective group Baroque Churches of the Philippines. It shares the distinction with San Agustin Church in Manila, Nuestra Señora de la Asunción Church in Santa Maria, and Ilocos Sur Province in Santo Tomas de Villanueva Parish Church in Miagao, Iloilo Province. Second is the Baler Church. Baler Church, also known as San Luis Obispo Parish Church, has a significant historical background. It gained prominence during the Siege of Baler, which took place from July 1, 1898 to June 2, 1899. The siege was a battle of the Philippine Revolution, the Spanish-American War, and the Philippine-American War. Filipino revolutionaries laid siege to the fortified church, which was manned by the Spanish troops for 11 months. It is located in Baler, Aurora on the eastern coast of Luzon, Philippines. It played a significant role during the siege, serving as a stronghold for the Spanish forces. The church compound of San Luis de Tolosa, where the church is situated, was fortified against attack. The siege of Baler is considered part of the Spanish-American War, since the Filipino were initially allied with the United States. However, even after Spain's surrender and the annexation of the Philippines by the United States in December 1898, the Spanish forces continued to defend themselves against the Filipino forces until 1899. The siege highlighted the determination and resilience of both the Filipino revolutionaries and Spanish soldiers. Third is the Ruins. The Ruins is a historic mansion located in Talisay, Negros Occidental, Philippines. It was built in the early 1900s by wealthy sugar baron Don Mariano Ledesma Lacson as a testament of his love for his Portuguese wife, Maria Braga Lacson. The mansion was inspired by Italian architecture and covers an area of over 900 square meters. It features a total of 10 bedrooms and was made of pure concrete, with metal columns used to reinforce the pillars. During World War II, the mansion was burned down for 3 days by Filipino guerrillas to prevent the Japanese forces from using it as a headquarters. Despite the fire, the skeletal frame of the mansion remains intact and stands as a symbol of the tragic love story between Don Mariano and Maria. Fourth is the Fort San Pedro. Fort San Pedro, also known as Fuerte de San Pedro, is a historic military defense structure located in Cebu City, Philippines. It was built by the Spanish under the command of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first governor of the Captaincy General of the Philippines. The original fort was constructed with wood after the arrival of Legazpi and his expedition. In the early 17th century, a stone fort was built to defend against Muslim raiders. The current structure of Fort San Pedro dates back to 1738 and is the oldest triangular bastion fort in the country. The fifth is the Tabon Cave. Tabon Cave is a cave system located in Lipuan Point, Panitian, Quezon, Palawan in the Philippines. It is considered the cradle of civilization in the country and is of significant archaeological importance. The caves have been the site of numerous discoveries, including jar burials and prehistoric human remains, most notably the Tabon Man. The Tabon Cave complex is a part of Lipuan Point Reservation, which is protected by the Philippine government as a museum reservation to preserve the cultural artifacts found there. The Tabon Caves offer a unique combination of natural beauty and historical significance, making it a most visited destination in Palawan. Sixth is the Mactan Shrine. The Mactan Shrine, also known as the Lapu-Lapu Shrine, and the Magellan Shrine is located on Mactan Island in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu, Philippines. It is a memorial park that commemorates the Battle of Mactan that took place in 1521 between the Spanish and the Visayan native people. The shrine contains two important shrines, the Lapu-Lapu Shrines and the Magellan Shrine. The Lapu-Lapu Shrine is a 20-meter high bronze statue of Lapu-Lapu, the Filipino warrior king who led the native forces against the invading Spanish forces and killed their leader, Ferdinand Magellan. The statue is located on the exact spot where the battle was fought and where the Magellan was killed. Lapu-Lapu is regarded as the first national hero of the Philippines. The Magellan Shrine is a monument dedicated to Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who commanded the Spanish fleet that arrived in the Philippines in 1521. The monument was built in 1866 and features inscription honoring Magellan. The Mactan Shrine is a significant historical site in the Philippines and it is most visited for those interested in Filipino history. Seventh is the Corregidor Island. Corregidor Island, also known as the Rock, is a small island located at the entrance of Manila Bay in the Philippines. It is strategically positioned and serves as a focal point for the naval defenses of Manila. The island played a significant role during World War II as a military fortress and was the site of a first battle between the Allied forces and the Japanese Imperial Army. Corregidor Island is a national shrine commemorating the bravery and sacrifice of the U.S. and Filipino forces during the war. It is a home to various historical landmarks, including the Pacific War Memorial, numerous gunneries, and the Malinta Tunnel, which serve as a supply depot, hospital, and General Douglas MacArthur's headquarters. It is the Fort Santiago. Fort Santiago, also known as Fuerte de Santiago, is a citadel located in Intramuros, the walled city of Manila, Philippines. It was built in 1571 by Spanish navigator and governor Miguel Lopez de Legazpi for the newly established city of the Manila. The fort is one of the most important historical sites in Manila and has witnessed significant events throughout its history. Ninth is the Rizal Park. Rizal Park, also known as Luneta Park, is a historical urban park located in the Ermita district along Rojas Boulevard in the city of Manila, Philippines. It is one of the largest urban parks in Asia and is adjacent to the historic walled city of Intramuros. Rizal Park is a significant place in Philippine history. It was originally built in 1820 and was known as Bagong Bayan. It was the site where Jose Rizal, the national hero, was executed by the Spanish firing squad on December 30, 1896. The park was renamed Rizal Park in his honor. Over the years, the park has been the venue for various significant events, including the declaration of Philippine independence, political rallies, and international ceremonies. 10th is Calle Cristologo. Calle Cristologo, also known as Mina Crisologo Street, is named after Mina Picson Crisologo, a famous Ilocano poet and writer from Vigan. The street is part of Vigan's picturesque heritage village, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Calle Cristologo is known for its well-preserved Spanish colonial architecture, including centuries-old stone houses, antique cobblestone streets, and elegant ancestral houses. During the Spanish colonial period, Calle Cristologo was called Calle Escolta de Vigan and was home to families who profited from the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade. After the death of Governor Marcelino Mina Crisologo in 1927, the street was renamed in his honor. The street reflects a blend of the indigenous Filipino, Chinese, and colonial European influences in its architecture. Calle Cristologo is a popular tourist attraction and must-visit destination in Vigan. It provides a glimpse into the rich history and cultural heritage of the Philippines, showcasing the fusion of different influences that have shaped the region. Let's continue to the historical events in the Philippines. The Philippine Independence Day 1946. The flag of the United States of America is lowered while the flag of the Philippines is raised during the Independence Day ceremonies on July 4, 1946. On July 4, 1946, the United States formally recognized the independence of the Republic of the Philippines. This was the culmination of the process that began in 1916, when the Jones Law pledged the eventual recognition of the Philippine independence and the Philippine Independence or the Tidings-McDuffie Act of the 1934. Which provided for a 10-year transition period to prepare for independence. The independence of the Philippines was marked by Manuel Rojas retaking his oath as a president of the Philippines, eliminating the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States required prior to the independence. Independence thereafter was celebrated on July 4th of every year until 1962. The liberation of the Philippines from Japanese. The liberation of the Philippines from Japanese occupation occurred during World War II. The Japanese invaded the Philippines on December 8, 1941, just hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The American and Filipino forces fought against the Japanese occupation for several years until the tide of the war began to turn. The liberation of the Philippines involved a combination of military offensives by Allied forces, guerrilla resistance by Filipino fighters, and the support of the local population. The formal surrender of Japan took place on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. With the surrender, the Philippines was finally free from Japanese occupation. The assassination of political rival of late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Aquino Jr., popularly known as Ninoy, was a prominent political rival of the late Philippine dictator Ferdinand Marcos. He was among the first arrested following the declaration of martial law in 1972. Aquino was sentenced to death by a military commission in 1977. However, he was never executed and was allowed to seek medical aid and self-exile in the U.S. Aquino Jr. was assassinated upon returning to the Philippines in 1983, an event widely seen as the being key to Marcos' downfall. In 1986, Marcos was replaced as president by Aquino Jr.'s wife, Corazon Aquino. The capture of Emilio Aguinaldo by U.S. troops in 1901. Philippine revolutionary leader Emilio Aguinaldo was captured by U.S. troops during the Philippine War. The story of Aguinaldo is symbolic of the United States' relationship with the Philippines in the last year of the 19th century. After joining the U.S. side of the war against Spain, Aguinaldo and the Philippines faced another war with an imperialist power, the United States. Aguinaldo. In 1898, Aguinaldo declared the independence of the Philippine Islands, and in January 1899, he became the president. After the Spanish defeat, the United States refused or recognized Aguinaldo's government. Cavite Mutiny. The Cavite Mutiny of the 1872 was an uprising of military personnel in Fort San Felipe, the Spanish arsenal in Cavite, Philippines. Around 200 soldiers and laborers rose up in the belief that it would lead to a national uprising. However, the mutiny was unsuccessful, and the Spanish government cracked down on the growing nationalist movement. The mutiny is considered a significant event in the Philippines' struggle for independence and played a role in shaping the consciousness of the Filipino people in their pursuit of freedom. Also inspired national hero Jose Rizal to dedicated his novel El Filibusterismo to the martyrs of the mutiny. The mutiny legacy lives on in the Philippine history and serve as a reminder of the Filipino people's determination to fight against the colonial oppression. Philippine Revolution. The Philippine Revolution, which took place from 1896 to 1898, was a struggle for independence from Spanish colonial rule. It was a major rebellion by Filipinos against the Spanish colonial regime and led to the establishment of the First Philippine Republic. The revolution was inspired by nationalist sentiments, socio-economic grievances, and the desire for self-determination. Key figures in the revolution include Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, and Emilio Aguinaldo. Battle of Tirad Pass. The Battle of Tirad Pass was a significant event during the Philippine-American War. It took place in December 2, 1899, in Tirad Pass, Ilocos, Philippines. The battle was fought between a 60-man Filipino rearguard led by the Brigadier General Gregorio del Pilar and over 500 American soldiers, mainly from the 33rd Volunteer Infantry Regiment under Major Peyton C. March. The Filipino troops, although heavily outnumbered, successfully delayed the American advance, allowing President Emilio Aguinaldo and his troops to escape. Battle of Manila Bay. Battle of Manila Bay in May 1, 1898, naval engagement in the Spanish-American War. The U.S. Asiatic Squadron under George Dewey was ordered to sail from its Hong Kong base to destroy the Spanish fleet then in the Philippines. In one morning, the guns of Dewey's squadron completely destroyed the Spanish ships anchored in Manila Bay. The Spanish suffered 381 casualties, the Americans fewer than 10. Manila later surrendered and was occupied by U.S. troops in August. The battle established the U.S. as a major naval power. The execution of Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, was executed on December 30, 1896, by the Spanish army. He was falsely convicted of rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy. Rizal, known as the George Washington of the Philippines, dedicated his adult life to liberating his country from Spanish colonial rule. Despite not participating in the armed uprising, Rizal's writings and ideas played a significant role in inspiring the Philippine Revolution. Rizal's execution took place in Bagumbayan, now known as Alonita Park, in Manila. He was shot by a firing squad composed of Filipino soldiers. Serving in the Spanish army, Rizal's last words were "Consumatum est," which means it is finished or it is done, echoing the word of Jesus Christ. His execution served a turning point in the Philippine Revolution, further fueling the fight for independence. The first mass in the Philippines in 1521 in Suluan south of Samar, a small boat with around 9 men approached the strangers that had wandered into their waters. Used to having traders come to their shores, the people gave fish, a jar of palm wine, bananas and coconuts in exchange for strangers' reed caps, mirror, comb, bows, and other such items. These strangers were mostly Europeans, who came under the Spanish flag. Their leader, Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese seaman, had appeared in the Spanish court in 1518 with a strange proposal to reach the wealth and spices of the East by sailing west. King Charles talked to the project with lively interest, and after a year's preparations, 19 months at sea, series of mutinies, desertions, and battles with scurvy, Magellan with his half-starved crew dropped anchor off Soloan, after which they moved on Limasawa, where the ruler of Botoan, Raja Colombo, received them. On Easter Sunday, 31 March in 1521, Father Pedro de Valderrama celebrated the first Mass in the Philippines. The intensive Christianization process of the island would start only with the coming of Legazpi expedition in 1565, which brought the first missionaries, the Agustinians. At last, the historical events and places in the Philippines are a testament to the resilience and identity of the Filipino people. From the ancient battles to the peaceful revolution, each site tells a story of triumph over adversity and the celebration of cultural heritage. These landmarks serve as reminders of the country's rich history and the enduring spirit of its inhabitants, showcasing a legacy of courage, unity, and pride that continues to inspire generations. Thanks for watching!